Hello, this is Kevin from Crypto MY. In today's episode, let's talk about which cryptocurrency can still be invested. As you can see here, I have stated quite a lot in my previous video about Bitcoin might fall to the bear market soon. As you can see here, it was a very strong downtrend all the way down here, which is if you look at the weekly chart of the Bitcoin versus US dollar, you can see there is a two red candlestick all the way down towards, causing the Bitcoin dip almost a 50% drop. It causes a lot of people to panic. It's normal, causes a lot of retailers to exit the market, but then it's also an opportunity to earn and get into a dip, and that is where the whales comes in and take all over the low price. I also stated in my Telegram that if the Bitcoin falls below the 36,000, most probably it will have a bearish market. So thus, if we look at the yesterday candlestick, it closes below the 36,000. Yes, I could say this is a very strong bearish market. The candlestick break below the moving averages, and also the candlestick is closed below the 36,000 mark, which is the Fibonacci retracement here. How do I do the Fibonacci retracement? I drag it from the latest lowest low to the highest high. So as you can see here, the Fibonacci 0.786 and also the 0.618 is around this area. So right now it already breaks below. Yes, I could say that this is the bearish market. I couldn't deny the fact that this, based on technical analysis, it is a bearish market. But I also stated that there is also a possibility whereby the market can also be reversed around this area. Why? As you can see here, if we look at the most latest dump and pump during the 2019, which is around this area. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. Let's focus a little bit here. Okay, yes, based off technical analysis, if you look at here, it's quite similar move with the right now. Can you see here? It's a quite similar move whereby it drops, and here it drops even further. So you can see here there is two candlestick drops, and there is also two candlestick drops. But if you can see here, the moving average also did break, whereby the candlestick break below the moving average line, and then it couldn't break above, and then it falls further down. So based on technical analysis, yes, it's also considered a bearish market, and everybody also stated that the bull trend was over in Bitcoin, in crypto space during the time in 2020, and a lot of people believe that, and a lot of retailers exit the market during around this area. So after the exit, after the dump, which is the 1, 2, 3, which is 3-week continuous dumping, and you can see the market started to recover straight away immediately after the dumps that will occur during the 2020. After that, you have seen a very strong pump all the way up to 61,000. So if you ask me whether the bull cycle is over, I could say 50% still yes, even though the technical analysis is showing that the moving average line is already been broken. The Fibonacci retracement has already been broken. Thus, yes, technical analysis state that it is bearish market. But let me tell you one thing. Let you imagine, if I am the whale of this crypto space, I will purposely want to dump this and tell the retailers or tell the market and show the market that it is a potential downtrend. So why? Because when it dumps all the way down and it closes below, this is the time where all the retailers will look at the same chart, look at the same technical analysis, and say that yes, the bull market is over, then let's exit the market, correct? So when all the retailers start to exit the market, I would say the price will go further down, and this is where the price plunged all the way down towards the 30,000 area yesterday. And that is the good time where the whales start to coming back, because they are the one who make you felt that it is already a bear cycle, and that is the time where they buy back all your coins. and they can accumulate most of the coins at the lower price. So therefore, if you ask me whether is it a bear cycle, based on technical analysis, yes, but based on psychology, I would say no. It might have a similar move, same in 2019, whereby when the whales start to dump all the way down here, which is 4,700, it causes many retailers to panic, and that is where all the whales come in back and pump all the way up to 60,000 area. So I would say that it might have a similar move right here. We might not know, but it have a possibility, I would say. So if you ask me whether I panic or not, I would say no, because I might think that the bull cycle is still on track. Yes, even though the technical analysis is showing it's a bearish confirmation, but as I can say, we cannot be relying on technical analysis also. We must also stand on other people's shoe, especially the whale shoe, to see and to think how they think and how they react to the market. Okay, if I look at day one chart right now, I think the day one chart is still alright. If the market able to close above this Fibonacci retracement, I believe the Bitcoin will have the very strong retracement up all the way back to this 42,000, and if it does break above, then most probably it will go back up to this 48,000. So like I said, there is no certainties whether is it a bullish or a bearish market right now, but as you can see here, it's a very strong pullback right now, and hopefully if this moving averages, if the candlestick, which is later at another 4 hours, if it close above these moving averages, yes, you can see a very strong pullback, temporary all the way up, but we might not know what will happen next. But let us talk about altcoins. Everybody said that altcoins have already, the season is already over, and so on and so forth, and altcoins couldn't be recovered if the Bitcoin start to fall like hell. Yeah, that's not true. As you can see, if you look at the Ethereum price, Ethereum still stay very strong above the Fibonacci retracement. As you can see here, yes, even though it had dropped, I could say 50%, it has even dipped all the way down to 1,750 if not mistaken. And if I pull the Fibonacci all the way up from here to here, the latest high, you can see that the 0.618 and also the 0.786 line is falls below this area. So what happens is the market did push all the way down to this 0.618 line, and then it start to reverse back all the way up, and then it closed at above this area, which is still above this lowest high in February 2021, which is a good thing. Why? Because this is a very good situation whereby usually you will see a market whereby it will go up and then it will falls back to the nearest support level, and then it will go all the way up and then it falls back to the nearest support level, and this is still the nearest support level. So right now, if there is a possibility that the Ethereum might have the bounce back, creating a new support layer and area all the way up to the 3,000 to 4,000 mark later, sooner or later. This is a very healthy life cycle in crypto, and if it does that, yes, Ethereum alt season is still not yet over, and I believe that hopefully the Ethereum might able to do that, to do some recovery, such things, so that when it falls, it doesn't fall all the way down to the nearest support level. If you can see here, there is no nearest support area right above here where it surged all the way up non-stop, and there is no bus stop there for it to rest, and therefore the nearest bus stop they can take a rest is around this area. So when it pumps so high, you must expect it to drop so much. Like I said, if the market starts to do some recovery up and down, such as how I drawn in this chart, it will be a very healthy life cycle for this Ethereum to grow up further in future. Not just that, I want to say that there are few cryptocurrency that you can take note this week, and I believe that this few cryptocurrency has a very high potential to grow, and there is a lot of good project coming in. Of course, this is not a financial advice. You guys need to do your own research, and I'm based on my own opinion. Okay, if the first chart I will be looking at is the Cardano versus US dollar. Yes, if you can see, Cardano has dropped, quite similar to how Ethereum has fallen, whereby it falls all the way down to the nearest support level. If you can see here, if I drag all the way down, this is the nearest support level that the Cardano dropped to yesterday. And if you can see here, it pumps all the way up, and then it pumps all the way up here to $2.50, and then it drops all the way down to this support level right now. So if you ask me whether the bull run of the Cardano is over, not yet. It's because if you can see here, if I drag from the latest lowest low to the highest high, you can see that the Cardano Fibonacci retracement is 0.618 and the 0.786 is around this area. So as you can see here, the candlestick is still closed inside this Fibonacci retracement, inside this cycle, which is a very good thing for Cardano. So right now, if the Cardano managed to close above this $1.52, most probably you could see a very huge recovery all the way up to $1.90. Of course, it would take time, because most of it are based on Bitcoin fluctuation. If Bitcoin falls, of course the Cardano and most of the altcoins will fall. But if Bitcoin recover, I believe that the Cardano would take a very fast race all the way up back to this $1.92 or maybe $1.96 within no time. Right now, if you ask me whether it's a good time for you to invest, yes, it's a very good time to invest in Cardano. I would say that $1.20 to about $1.30 is a very good buy for Cardano for long-term investment. And I would want to see how Cardano reacts if the Cardano breaks above and then it closes below back here and then it starts to climb back slowly towards this. It would be great for Cardano too. So I would say Cardano, Ethereum are still doing alright in the altcoin season. And let us look at the next one that I kind of surprised that it makes a very huge recovery too. I wanted to purchase this Matic yesterday, but I couldn't because I kind of set it at quite a low price. I set it at the 70-cent price, which is it did not touch. It went all the way down to 75 cents, if not mistaken. It almost reached 70 cents. Maybe I was greedy. It's normal as a trader to set a kind of a low price because I'm expecting that the Bitcoin might fall further down. But it's okay. It's okay. Why? Because if you look at Matic's technical analysis, if you look at the weekly chart, if I drag from the Fibonacci from the lowest low to the highest high, which is here, you can see that the Fibonacci retracement of 0.618 and 0.786 still falls around this area, which is a huge area, very big gap here. And one thing good is the candlestick yesterday did not close below the Fibonacci retracement. This is one of the cryptocurrency, I mean, most of it falls, but this one did not. So that's why you can see a very huge recovery from 0.7 all the way up to $1.46 right now. It's about 100% gain, a 2x gain. This within a day, not even a day. I think it should be just a 4 to 8 hours. It could reach 100% pump with just a single candlestick. So I would say that yes, Matic is a very high good potential because first of all it's a very low market cap. If I'm not mistaken, I think the market cap is still around 70 million. Let us check the real market cap right now. Matic is around 90 million right now. It's a very huge gain, and it climbs almost 50%. Can you see that? It's 50% within a 24 hours. It's crazy, man. So 9 over million, yes, it's a very low market cap for such a good project. If you want to look at the Polygon or the Matic project, you should just check it out at their website. It's a very good project. It's quite similar to Cardano, and it even search better than Cardano right now. If you can see, it's quite similar to Cardano price right now. $1.48 and also $1.48 is quite over similar. But if you want to compare with Matic and Cardano, of course the Matic has lower market cap than the Cardano, so that if Matic rises, it could rise faster than Cardano. It can rise more further than Cardano. If you can see here, Matic has reached $2.70 last week, and it even falls lower than Cardano yesterday, which is around 70 cents. If I were you, I would take a look at this alternative, whereby I believe that this project, as in long run, I think it could get a very huge market cap in future. So that's all for this Matic USDT. If you want to look at it, I would advise you to take a look. Very high good potential of this coin to grow in few years time. So last and not least, I will talk about Shiba Inu USDT. Why Shiba Inu is because Shiba Inu has been tanking, whereas most of the cryptocurrency falls like hell yesterday. But if we look at the Shiba Inu has not been affected quite a lot. Yes, it has affected quite a lot during the Bitcoin falls. When the candlestick breaks below, it falls all the way down towards this area, which is around 0.00006. But then, if you want to compare with other altcoins, I believe that this is the coin, and also Doge, if I'm not mistaken, has falls quite low compared to the others coins. But Shiba Inu is still very stagnant around this area. Somebody, and I must say, some whales are tanking around this area, wouldn't want the price to fall further down. And right now, it is now doing a very good recovery up here around this area. As you can see here, if I put it at the daily chart, you can see that there is a lot of people tanking around this area. There's a lot of buyers buying in at this area, which is a good thing, because nobody wants the Shiba Inu to drop further than this area, this price. And as you can see here, yes, weekly chart, you cannot see much on Binance chart, but I would say that, yeah, this is a very strong support level for Shiba Inu. Thus, this is a very good place to buy if you want to purchase more Shiba Inu. And I would say that if Bitcoin starts to recover, and I believe that the Shiba Inu will have the potential to go all the way back up to this 0.00001545 around this area. And most probably, of course, there is a minor resistance level that the Shiba Inu need to break through before it goes further up. Thus, I would say that Shiba Inu is also another good coin for you to take note if you want to invest at a long-term type of investment. So I think that's all for today's episode. If you like the episode today, remember to click like, share and subscribe. I will see you guys soon, and bye bye.